Got us some redlings. Likely redlings. Since little medium. This might be a mulligan on the play. Like, Arcane Focus is by no means a guaranteed next resource drop. We technically get 3 looks at it. If we find it ice, we're really happy with this hand. 2 years, bitches! Tumos! With the brand new 24-month sub. Look at that, the very first blood gem. Oh, baby. We knew that was about to happen, right? Just like, God, Arcane Focus is so much worse than Guidance. It's so much worse. My group tested Trial of Totems a little bit off stream, and it did not feel particularly good. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you just shouldn't keep heads like I just kept. Arcane Focus is like worse than having an ice. Holy crap. Tilt angel, do, this transmog. Yay, you have a 1/1, do. That wasn't even an ice. 8 ice in this deck, it's all I want out of life. All I wanted was an ice. Thank you for the support, really though, Tumos. I appreciate that. You're one of the Magic subs that hung out during my hiatus, and I'm back now. But I know I took some time off for Magic. I've been modding everyone when they hit Sapphire. We're gonna go ahead and transmog this dork as well. There's a 1/3 here that gets rage and speed when it comes into play. Still has rage, but no longer has speed. Hey, if we run off a couple of resources in a row here, we're going to be in a really good spot. Ice, please. Fortunate. That's actually a pretty good draw, though, right? Like, we get to trade this with the Curse Rider here. Yeah, I don't know if it does show a sword on mobile when you have one. I'm gonna have to check next time. It might not. Remade. The question here is, do I want to Runebind? I think I want to Runebind my Thunderfield Seer here. If we don't draw a resource next turn, we're going to be pretty boned regardless. If we do draw a resource, Runebinding this is really good. So, Runebind turns my card into this Mysterious Root. I can do it to any card on the chainer in play. Generally speaking, it's better to Runebind your own thing as opposed to the removal spell, because the removal spell is just going to come off and turn back into the removal spell next time they draw a resource. Whereas this way, when we draw a resource, we get to get our thing back. If we don't hit a resource here, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. The only thing we could hit if we don't draw a resource, they'd be fine. Another Thunderfield Seer would be fine. We're looking for like another 1-cost Sapphire card if we're not drawing a resource here. And we hit a resource. Perfect. Let's go ahead and play that out, and then it prophesizes. And then we're actually not going to draw a prophecy card for a little bit here, because I'm going to go ahead and put another resource on top of my deck with that ice. Hopefully we hit a well or a diamond shard so we can play Dark Heart or Silver Talon Adjudicator next turn. If my opponent goes to kill this again, I'm probably going to Runebind it. Unless it's like a Lasgar's Vengeance. If it's a Lasgar's, I might just Runebind the Lasgar's. Oh, baby, make the map bot a 1/3. Sweet, so we're just getting attacked for 1 here? We're getting attacked for 3. They're attacking us for 3. I'm going to go ahead and block this. Do I want to Runebind this? I don't think Runebinding this, burning the Runebind is worth just gaining 2 points of life there. I might want the Runebind next turn. We're guaranteed to draw a resource here because of our Fate Weave, and we hit the diamond, which is perfect. So let's go ahead and play Dark Heart of Nulzann. So Dark Heart, very, very powerful card. It's a customizable card. It's got 2 sockets in here. So the customizations are, it has -1 cost. Normally this card costs 5, but the major gem here makes it cost 1 less. And then it has +2 defense on its minor gem. And every turn, each player has to sacrifice a non-socketed card they control. So my opponent doesn't have any socketed cards right now, so they're going to lose one of their 2 things. And remember, at some point, we've got double Thunderfield Seer prophecies pending here. Yeah, I agree. And we missed our second resource drop this game, right? Hey, Voltaic. Yeah, I know, I'm gonna have a schedule published by Monday. Sunday night. Let's say Sunday night. After I wake up from sleeping for 12 hours, after streaming for 24 hours, I will be putting together a schedule so y'all will know when I will be on. Rust Bucket Distractor's pretty good. This is going to go ahead and make this not be able to block, so my opponent's going to be able to push some damage through here at least. We'll see if they play out another thing. If we hit another diamond and we get to Clash of Steel, this hand's going to be... Ooh, does this have... Nope, just has Rage 1. Okay. Make a couple of poopers. They're hitting us for 1, 2, 3 here, down to 14. Yeah, I agree. Well, we'd block a 1 power guy, right? We'd block a 1 power guy. 10 out of 10 would block a 1 power guy. Pfft, yep, alright, this game's over. So, we play this. Clash of Steel says everybody picks 1 card they control and then sacrifices the rest. And this is actually really good to highlight here. I made a very small sequencing mistake here. And the sequencing mistake is, if I attack before I play this Clash of Steel, my opponent won't block because they don't want to lose a guy. Wait. Okay, my opponent chose the wrong thing. My opponent should have picked one of the other two since they were going to have to sacrifice them anyways, and then they could have blocked this attack and saved themselves 4 points of life. Now I get to hit them for 4 points of damage this turn with the Star Cart because they chose to keep this. That being said, like, either way, they're probably pretty dead since I'm at 14, but they could have minimized the amount of damage they were taking here. Wicked Web Fawn, sure. Main deck Haunting Cry. That's pretty good. Yeah, that can just resolve because, like, that's giving them 2 more cards in their hand. So I'm going to get to go ahead and play the Silver Talon Adjudicator and draw some cards here, hopefully. Maybe it might be too cute. The problem is that, like, if I miss on a resource here, I could end up falling behind, and I just don't want the chance to miss on a resource. Like, we're pretty likely to hit a resource, but, like, we're not guaranteed, so I think we're just, like, supposed to be conservative. I wouldn't be surprised if they concede to this. This is gonna put them pretty far behind. Guidance draws 3 cards. I think I'm actually just going to pass for the turn here. And the reason why we're going to pass instead of playing this guidance to draw a bunch of cards is Silver Talon Adjudicator only draws cards if my opponent has more cards in hand than me. And if I play this and draw 3, they're definitely not going to have more cards in hand than me. I might get to draw 2 extra cards by waiting a turn to play this guidance. So guidance is a really simple cantrip. Normally this card Fate Weaves, which means I choose a resource or non-resource to put on top of my deck and then draws a singular card. But because of those Thunderfield Seers we played earlier, you can see this as it's prophesized. It's modified to draw 2 additional cards here. Bucket Distractor, sure. Yep. Sure. Am I supposed to Runebind this now? No, probably not. So we're not going to be able to engineer a way to draw cards here, which is a little sad. Casual Ancestral with upside, right? A good one. Do this and draw a resource here. Hit our 7th. Our champion power when we hit the 7th resource lets us create an Oracle Song and put it in our hand, which will let us draw a couple extra cards. Thank you to Caleb and Nasif for the auto hosts. Anyone that's hanging out in their channels for the Magic audience. We stream Magic on this channel on occasion too, but today we're playing Hex Shards of Fate. Is a fully digital TCG that has regular cash tournaments. They have a $1,000 tournament tomorrow morning. It's a $7 entry fee, so I think I'm playing this control deck in that tournament, so just hanging out, getting some practice with it. So my opponent doesn't have to... Oh, this was a punt. I should have runebound their Underworld Crusader. So they don't have to sacrifice this because it's socketed. But, I didn't reassess my line when I played another dark card out. This turns it into a non-socketed Mysterious Rune. So, should have 10 out of 10 just done this. Sad times ahead. Alright, so let's do this. And then before we attack here, let's go ahead and play the Silver Talon Adjudicator out here. Because this only gives me life if I... This only gives me life if I have less life than my opponent. So once I crack them for 8, I will no longer have less life than my opponent. Activate my champion power. Champion powers are great because they kind of give you a little bit of insurance when you flood out, but we're not flooding this game. We're pretty firmly in control here. I've filled my MTGO quota for the week, so we'll be playing more Magic tomorrow with the 24-hour stream, or 12, possibly 24-hour stream, but today will just be a Hexy morning. I don't have any Magic events coming up that I'm looking to play in, so I know I'm playing the 1K tomorrow for Hex, so I get to practicing for that. The Sapphire Diamond control deck's really good, but control decks you can't just jam. You need practice and repetition in with them, so you need practice and repetition with anything. Playing the good game today. Griffin Bruce! You have a Sapphire. GG. No, I mean, I like Magic. Magic is fun. It's just, you know, ooh, had the double Lasgard and maybe sneak out of it. That's why they were still playing. Okay, I can respect that. You did earn a sword. Look at that. All right, how am I supposed to board in this matchup? Eldurathan's Glory is great. Psychic Ascension is pretty poopy. Pride's Fall is fine. Really not a fan of Clash of Steel in this matchup. I think Confounding Ire is fine. Interrupting Crusader and Lackey are pretty good, and on the off chance they have like Culmination in Blood in their reserves, it's fine there as well. I guess I don't really have anything else I want to cut here. Into the Unknown's pretty bad. Yeah, I'd buy Into the Unknown's kind of bad. And just like leave one in. I'm not a fan of Dread into this matchup. The other one Into the Unknown's probably fine. Just like cut PA, Clash, and Into the Unknown for 2 Falls, 2 Ires, and a Glory. Send me up. Yes, it's pretty good. It's got a Thunderfield Seer on 1 here, and then plenty of resources. Engage is pretty good. This is a tough card. Seems pretty good. Opponent's got their deck, seems like it's kind of hedged for this matchup. They've got Withering Gaze in the reserves, and they've got what's it called? The Scrounge card in their main deck. This is a touch awkward. This hand doesn't have a second Sapphire in it. One of the nice things about cutting Psychic Ascension out of our deck is we know that this isn't going to prophesize onto a Psychic Ascension. Really kind of sucks that they took our Lanupaw state. It means they're going to have a draw 3 in their deck at some point here. And you know what's really great against a 2-1? A 1-1 that drew a card. Glory to the Hypnotoad. Put a random resource on top of my deck. Do I have any double Sapphire things in my deck right now, actually? I cut Psychic Ascension. So I actually don't need double Sapphire, right? Like our champion power is single Sapphire. Yeah, I actually just don't need a second Sapphire, which is kind of great. Into the Unknown is double Sapphire. Okay, yep, you're right. Yep, 3 Sapphire, Sapphire. Block. Put a non-resource top. Again, here, this is like one of the sequencing things I'm trying to commit to muscle memory. You want to play your ice before you play your thing that prophesizes. But, like, the thing to note is, like, with only one Into the Unknown as a double Sapphire card in my deck, I don't feel compelled to, like, aggressively Fate Weave additional resources to the top of my deck to try and hit a second Sapphire, because, like, I'm only going to have at most one dead draw if I brick on the second Sapphire for a little while. Beep, beep. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe I should Runebind that in response to deny them some triggers here. I cash this in as a game 3, I think. Is this one good? Does anyone know? Is the jury out? This one, is this one okay? What do we think? The next action we draw is going to draw 2 cards. Watch me talk about not being worried about getting the second Sapphire, and the one Into the Unknown has the 2 prophecies on it. Incoming prophesies the unknown, right? Casualty of War? Okay. That's pretty good. I forgot there was an AA for that. Kind of sweet. Wonder how many cards my opponent's boarding in. It seems like they probably diluted their primary game plan a little bit here. I'm not gonna Eldurathan's Glory here. This one I'm gonna take a resource on because I would like to tip my champion power on curve. Perfect. Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and put another resource on top of my deck here because now I have resource. What's the word I'm looking for? I think I'm just gonna Runebind this now. So the reason, and this might look a little odd, but the reason why I'm Runebinding this now is I really don't want to take a hit for 7 from this next turn, but I don't really mind taking a hit for 3 when it replays here, because I would like to get rid of this with the Eldurathan's Glory I'm going to play next turn. But I really don't want to take 7. So basically I just played that Runebind as a gain 4, which I think we're in a position to just like burn a Runebind as a gain 4 here. Has no underworld troops. Wow, that's good for us. That's like unreal good for us, right? So its hand is just like mono casualties of war then? I'm just supposed to like sit tight, right? Like I'm in no hurry to like put these into play and like get them killed. Hand is 4 Lascars, right? Haunting Cry, okay. It's weird that they didn't do that on their turn. It could be Culmination of Blood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I know I'm about to get like they're about to Culmination me and I'm gonna be really sad, but like I feel like there can't be room for Culmination in their deck with Withering Gaze and Haunting Cry and Casualty of War. Like if they have Culmination and Blood on top of all of those cards, like they've boarded way too much. Hold the champ power for Culmination. Alright, sure. Yeah, you do you, opponent. Huh. This is actually kind of interesting. Which of these 2 am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to play the Lanupaw site here? Like, I really don't care about this, right? I think we site 2. And, like, on the off chance, like, they don't do this next turn, we get to, like, just stick a Glory. Yeah, I feel like his hand is just, like, a bunch of Casualties of War and stuff, right? I don't even feel like it's that greedy. And, like, what my opponent's done here is just, like, a pretty classic example of, like, why you shouldn't overboard an aggressive deck. So there should be a ceiling on the number of cards you're changing out each game. And I think my opponent has definitely crossed past that ceiling because, like, they just didn't have any aggression. Like, they kept a hand with, like, Withering Gaze, and they kept a hand... Oh, God. Don't cycle a coin and recast this, please. They can make 2 poopers here. Nope, they're just attacking me for 1. Deal. This is actually kind of great. I'm going to grab a resource with this on the off chance that my opponent recasts this next turn. Runebind was very, very good. You're not wrong. Yep, there's another casualty of war, sure. Like, and this is a good example, and again, like, why you shouldn't overboard. Like, my opponent has drawn almost all of their reserves cards, right? Like, they've drawn Withering Gaze, they've drawn 2 Casualties of War. I guess they had Haunting Cry in their main deck, which is, like, kind of interesting with how aggressive this format is. But, like, they drew a bunch of their reserves cards, and they're behind right now. Like, super far behind. It's really sad that this is prophesized. Because it means it's not going to draw 2 extra cards. It's really unfortunate. I'm going to play this and put a non-resource on top of my deck. Am I just passing? I think I'm just going to pass here for now. They could have another Culmination in Blood. And I don't think I want to lose the 2 cards from this to that. I don't want to say something silly like there's no way they have room for 2 Culminations in Blood. With all the other cards they boarded in. So... Culmination in Blood is a card that I wasn't really impressed with in the Redlings deck. Like, I kept, what's the word I'm looking for? I kept, it's awkward with your scrounge. Like, there's some tension there where, like, you can't scrounge because, God, this bird, these birds. Have you heard about the bird? I said a bird. Bird's the word. I said a bird. I said a bird. Bird's the word. I said a bird. This is like medium against Lasgar's Vengeance, but like even if they have Lasgar's here, I just like play Darkheart post after Lasgar's and like continue beating them down, right? I don't want to play Lasgar's, it's just gonna like kill my Silver Talon Adjudicators. Yeah, I agree. I think we sit on the champ power until like we need cards because of like their culmination and their discards. You got 9 power in play, let's go. Sure. You do you, friend. And now I'm just gonna play this. It's like this puts them dead on board. They're gonna have to sacrifice this, and then I sack this, then hit them for 10 exactly, and I have a Runebind to clear the way. So you need 2 pieces of action here. My 3/2 for 4 that heals 5 only drew 1 card, right? Look. We wouldn't be TCG players if we didn't always want more, right? Sure, you Graven Geist. They don't have another blocker here, this Runebind kills them. Long Bird. Attempt lethal here. They have a casualty, this isn't lethal, but they don't. My body is ready for the 12-hour tomorrow. Squishy! With the 13-month resubscription, welcome to the Raichu Sub Club. Your emotes, your on-screen gifts have evolved. I hope my body is ready for the 12-hour stream tomorrow. So for those of you that are not aware, tomorrow morning, starting at about 9 a.m. I'm going to be streaming Magic and Hex for a minimum of 12 hours, and should we meet the donation goal that I set at the beginning of the day, we will extend from a 12-hour stream to a 24-hour stream. 12 hours I can mostly do without batting an eye. 24 hours, though, there has to be a donation bribe in there for the wife. She has to Because if I stream for 24 hours, not only am I useless to her for 24 hours, but I'm useless for, like, the 12 hours after the 24-hour stream. I have to sleep. It'll be a 24-hour stream guaranteed. Yeah, it's not going to be... I think, like, $300 is going to be the donation goal, which usually... And last year, we blew past that. So, like, if it's anywhere close to that, we'll probably hit that as well. 48-hour stretch goal. I don't know about 48. I might do if we're still winning matches towards the end, I might do a Let's Play Legacy Tron in the Legacy Challenge stretch goal for Sunday, which would be like 36 hours. Yeah, and Matt's going to be here to help keep me awake. We're going to bring Maddie in about 2/3, half of the way through. He's going to help me play some Dredge. DJF with the Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Those are the same to me as regular $4.99 subscriptions, so I appreciate you sending your free Twitch monies my way. Twitch is so great. They didn't have to do that in the slightest. And, like, they just increased... They, like, made it more feasible for people to, like, do this as a full-time or part-time job. Like, my number of subs basically doubled, and I'm assuming most people saw similar increases. And this hand's great. This card just always looked... What? You can tell that I didn't build or work on the early iterations of Diamond Sapphire Control this season, because I never would have cut this card. Every time I draw this card, it's just like, you're basically never sad to see it. You're like, hey, it's that 1/1 that'll draw me a card later, and I like chump blocking, and I like drawing cards. This card is basically everything I want to do in life. Yeah, they're smart, right? Like, that's awesome that they understand, like, investing in their business will give them more returns on their business. Because, like, if more people could stream, that means they're going to have more paid subscribers too. So, like, they make more money in the long run, which is, like, awesome. Could you imagine if, like, WotC had that kind of long-term thinking, if they understood, hey, we could invest money into Magic Online and then we'll make more money for Magic Online later? So, this is one thing worth noting that does make Thunderfield Seer a little bit awkward this season, is that Fate Weaving post-Prophecy is kind of a bag of dicks, because I've now Fate Weaved a non-resource to the top of my deck, which means I've taken a card out of my deck and stacked it on top of my Prophecy card, so I'm going to take one more card to get through to my Prophecy card, which kind of sucks. I could Runebind that, but honestly, I want them to draw some cards, so that way I can play my Silver Talon Adjudicator and use it to draw cards. I also don't mind them getting in here for a couple of points, because hopefully they're going to hit me enough that this bird's going to draw or gain 5 life as well. To be fair, I probably only file for comp in... Oh, good lord. That's a double draw combat training. Well, I said I wanted them to draw some cards. You could say they've... Oh god, they have a flickering ship bucket too. That draws cards. Ugh. Alright, well this is gonna be a slog. I got my wish. I'm gonna draw cards and gain life with this bird. You could say my opponent has given me exactly what I've asked for. So the combat trainings give their troop +1 power permanently and allow them to return combat training from their discard pile to their hand. So everyone's going to draw a lot of cards here. I don't think we're dead. I think we're going to 23 and drawing 2 cards here, and we have a blocker. So I need you to calm down with the dead talk over there. We did. We just need to draw some transmogs. I need y'all to have a little bit of faith here, okay? Need y'all to have a little faith. Another Runebind will be pretty reasonable, I agree. We need to... That's a Lasgard's Vengeance. Alright. Alright, so... We do need to get rid of the tradings, you're not wrong. Non-slow shard is a fantastic draw. That means we could Runebind or Transmog this turn. Our Psychic Ascension, that might be useful at some point. We've now run out of life gates. We've gained 10 so far this game. The fact that they Lasgard last turn hopefully means they don't have another one this turn, or a Cremate. They discarded an Evaporate. I guess Evaporate's not very good against Silver Talon Adjudicator deck, right? Yep, that's a Cremate. Yep, that's a Flickering Poop Bucket that draws a card. Alright, I get it. We're dead. We're dead. Earthen's Glory is great. Oh no! Oh no! We cut the totem traps from this deck! We just can never win this game, can we? This matchup used to be really good. We had totem traps when it was really good. Clash of Steel is pretty miserable. Am I supposed to have Verdict of the Ancient Kings in my deck? I feel like I am. Yeah, the opponent is playing. It's a temp aggro control deck. Yeah, the fact that they got double Prophecy on a combat training and a Prophecy on the Flickering Ship Bucket basically buried us. I don't know that I want a third Into the Unknown. That's kind of clunky. I think I just want these verdicts. I want this extra sight. I don't hate having sight because, like, you can't go full low to the ground in a matchup like this because they'll just outcard us. So, like, we need to keep up on cards a little bit. Like, also, Into the Unknowning Flickering Gobbler is, like, not appealing. It's, like, not appealing. I don't think Magistrate sounds good at all. It doesn't block. It's, like, really slow as a win condition. I think I'd rather have the second Psychic Ascension before I put the first Tribunal Magistrate in. I mean, it doesn't really close the game quickly. Like, it takes Magistrate on its own never closes quickly, in fact. It takes a while to build up. Like, they have to build up eggs, and then they have to draw eggs, and then they have to not have answers to the Spiderlings. Tilt. So the well, for those who are unfamiliar, it doesn't make a threshold without already having a threshold, so... My phone just said in chat, only the skillful Lanupaw sites hit combat training and Gobbler, right? Oh, my pooper is thoroughly pushed. So I put a resource on top of my deck. Hopefully we hit a diamond off of that so we can cast this guidance. My life's like a diamond. Boom, 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 boom. Put a resource on top. I'm gonna grab a non-resource with this. We're guaranteed our first 5 here. All right, guidance into guidance. We'll hit our first 6 probably. That's pretty good. All right, let's grab a non-resource with this. Yep, before we play Shard. Decent. Let's go ahead and do this and put a... I have 5 resources right now. Yeah, let's guarantee 6. I think guaranteeing 6 is reasonable. Because we can cast this Runebind this turn, we could probably draw a card to the Silver Talon Adjudicator next turn. That being said, I might be better off just playing the Darkheart, because they're pretty likely to make a Bumblebot this turn, and I would like to take the Bumblebot off the table, just like keep their board kind of contained. Darkheart gets to like block their poopers here. Combat training, sure. I have another combat training to think about here. There might be a world where I'm supposed to Runebind this, but I feel like I should just take this hit and just play this Darkheart next turn. We get like Ruby's favorite, I'm gonna feel really bad about myself, or Transmogrifaded. Yeah, maybe I'm just supposed to Runebind this so I don't take the hit and they don't get the combat training back. Alright, so getting Ruby's favorite is off the table. I think I want this to just like kill most of their things. Even if it turns into a random 3, it's probably going to be able to trade with something on their board. Right, so long Thunderfield Seer. We're in the tank here. They need another Ruby to Lasgar us. I think if they attack, I'm just going to offer the trade. Here. I don't think I could take another full hit. But like if they attack and they have Lasgars, like they have Lasgars. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just put this in front of here. They like use Lasgars to clean this up. That's like a Lasgars they're not using to clean up my Silver Talon Adjudicator. Guess I could have like double Cremate too. Well, I'd be kind of surprised if Cremate's still in their deck post board in this matchup. Wow. Okay. Sure. Hey! Satellution with the 213 subscription. Thank you very much for the continued support. I do appreciate it. Welcome back. Alright, and Seer is actually a great draw here because it lets me play this out and then play this out to draw cards. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Salt the Talons is pretty good. Okay, that makes sense. I guess this card's pretty annoying, right? I still think my block there is correct. People play Dream Call because they're not terribly bright. The actual answer is people probably play Dream Call because they like that type of effect. It's kind of like, it's a cute, fun type effect, but I don't think it's particularly good. I think it's much worse than just playing Lanupaw Sight. Morning, chat. We will be kicking off tomorrow morning with the Gospel of Karn. Sometimes there's a Psychic Ascension in the board. Do this here and then block here. It's fine. I think playing Dream Call or other X cards I couldn't deny them trainings. They had trainings on 3 things. Which is whatever, like, their trainings don't really matter, I don't think. I'm gonna play this Eldurathan's Glory, and they're gonna, like, cry themselves silently to sleep. So they added something we haven't talked about yet today, is that they added Lasgard's Vengeance to the watch list for Standard and Immortal, and I definitely don't think it needs to go in Immortal, but I think in Standard it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing if Lasgard's Vengeance didn't exist. And, like, I think Bombus would likely be a tier 1 deck again if, what's it called? If we had... the word that I'm looking for. My words are escaping me. If like, Mono, Ruby, and, like, all of these decks that, like, every deck that wants to play Warpsteel Shardsworn, he got voided, will just be, like, infinitely better in a world without Lasgar's Vengeance. The old 7-mana consult. Yep. I would not be surprised if they got rid of it. I would not be sad if they did, honestly. I think it would be a mistake to ban it in Immortal, because Immortal's, like, barely a format, so, like, we don't actually know what's good, bad, or otherwise there. There's a rotation soon, but Lasgar's is in set 5, which means it wouldn't be rotating for almost a year. It won't rotate till set 10 hits. And, like, Lasgar's Vengeance, like, I agree from a power level standpoint, like, what, the deck that I'm playing does, and, like, what some of the other decks do, like, they can keep up with Lasgar's from a power level standpoint, but I also think that, like, Lasgar's Vengeance, like Corey said in his post, squeezes mid-range archetypes out of the format. Like, you basically just can't play mid-range in the current format without feeling bad about yourself. I mean, the last Immortal Championship only had 17 people in it. Sure. I'm just gonna go ahead and transmog this. Let them not get their combat trainings back. There's also the... And I think this is a really important metric to set. Even if Lasgar's is fine and it doesn't hamper mid-range decks, I think objectively speaking, Lasgar's Vengeance creates some unfun play patterns. I think objectively speaking, kill your stuff or possibly kill you as well is not an interesting play pattern to generate. And like Hex seems to have taken a pretty good line, and I like the line that they've taken on saying, hey, these just isn't fun to play against, so like let's just cut that shit out and not have it in our format, right? Like Wizards of the Coast likes to take this line where like even when there's this obnoxious thing that's just like miserable to play against, they're like, well, you see here, there's these other decks that can kind of keep up with it, so we're just gonna let you be miserable if you're not playing one of those things. They put Lasgar's Vengeance on the watch list, so we're kind of just like talking about, is that good, bad, or otherwise? How do I feel about it in general? I think I like how we boarded there. I think I'm just gonna click submit. Yeah, but like Takahiro is playing a very specific subset of cards, right? Like you're playing Blight Bushes and you're playing Runebind, which is basically like another Blight Bush, right? I don't think Dreaming, like, I think this Dreaming Fox deck actually gets significantly worse in a format where, like, Lasgar's Vengeance doesn't exist, which was a good thing, right? Like, speaking as someone who's played Control in a lot of formats, in Hex and Magic and lots of different TCGs, having to try and control a field full of different mid-range decks that are finishing with different troops, and, like, sometimes you need to Void, and sometimes you need Hero Falls, and sometimes you need this and that, like, controlling 2 different Ruby-based aggressive decks is so much easier than trying to control a field full of mid-range. I get, in general, Control is favored against mid-range, but when there's a lot of mid-range, I don't think that's strictly true. Yeah, like, the Blood decks are basically completely pushed out of the format right now, right? Like, Bride of the Dam is just non-existent. I think there will likely be a lot of mid-range aggressive decks in the format. I'm gonna grab a resource for this in case we hit an ice. Did not hit an ice. I'm gonna play this. Do I want to guarantee a 5th resource? I probably do, right? Although, I guess now I'm gonna take a non-resource here because we could hit a 2 or 3 toss thing to play next turn. Perfect. From a theory perspective, Bride is much easier for a mid-range deck to interact with than Lasgar's Vengeance is. Like, if your deck has a hard time with Bride, you can play Sapphire or you can play Blood and, like, completely just take the Brides out of their deck with Into the Unknown or Hero Fall. And then, like, Diamond and even Wild have meaningful ways to, like, kill Bride of the Damned, right? Wild doesn't have fantastic ways, like you have to like Croc it, which isn't appealing if they have 5 blood thresholds, but like, and again, like, the Blood mid-range decks, like, if the Blood mid-range decks are good and they're the best deck in the format, like, that's generally going to be a good format. Like, if the mid-range interactive decks are the best decks your format has, I think that generally creates good quality TCG games. So opponent mulligans here. Battle of Destiny is a pretty good card, isn't it? I think Battle of Destiny's playability probably hinges on how much spot removal's in the format. That's fine. It's a limited all-star, right? Ding. And another resource here. Then let the 4-6 parade begin. No reason to attack here. My opponent's just going to block because I'll have to sacrifice it anyways, so might as well just leave it back just in case. And if at some point they hit their Prophecy card and they snowball some cards here, we'll be able to play our Silver Talon Adjudicators and draw some cards ourselves. By that I mean, let's just turn the corner hard and fast here. Play that, crack them for 8, and the next turn we'll crack them for 12. No, if you kill the troop that you're choosing to battle with, it's not going to battle. So again, it hinges on how much spot removal's in the format. That's fine, right? So this is going to draw me cards, which is basically all I want out of life. Silver Talon Adjudicator that draws me cards. No, I don't think that's true, Hodor. I think it makes, like, what's the word I'm searching for? Like, more mid-range aggressive decks take over, right? Like, the Ardent deck's basically been completely pushed out of the format. I think there's probably a super reasonable Diamond Wild Ardent deck. His opponent. I think there's probably, like, the sockets decks get better. Like, the sockets decks give these control decks fits, right? Like, they have aggressive curves, and they also get to play, like, Altar of Nulzann to, like, generate infinite card advantage. Like, really just, like, the whole format changes, right? I kind of hope if they do pull the trigger on it, they pull the trigger on it before the next CCS. So that way... Sweet, we're just getting the full goulet of range of decks here, which is good. I just want practice against all the things. Yeah, sounds great, right? To guarantee my 3rd shard, play my Lanupaw Sight on curve. I'd just like to point out that, again, something is always going to be the best. There's always something that's going to have a higher win percentage than a lot of the other things. Ice is great. Ice, baby. Do. I didn't get to talk to Ryan a whole bunch at Gen Con, but when I did see him, I made sure to say, Ryan, Fateweave is awesome. You guys rock. Give me all of the ice. The people that keep talking about adjusting champions, I feel like adjusting a champion isn't going to have the desired result, so like why pussyfoot around it and just like fix the actual problem? Like if you want a change to the aggressive decks, it needs Lasgars to go. That's what has to change. I mean, we're having a bash every week, right? Like... Yeah, I was sandbagging the glory for a little bit in that second one, for sure. And then one ice, Fate Weaves another ice to guarantee the next resource drop, and just like the wheels keep turning. It's card opponent. So Cottontail Explorer, for those that haven't seen Brick Bunny in a while, it flips over the bottom 3 cards of their deck, and all the resources, of which there were none because it's a Brick Bunny, go into their hand. Go ahead and grab this, then play this Lanupaw Sight. This is a matchup where the 3rd sight comes in out of the board. Card's very good in this matchup. And that's the awesome thing about the bash, right? Like, we're getting regular tournament data now. Like, the ladder's relevant, but, like, the ladder skews in certain directions, which makes it inconvenient. No, that's why they put it on the watch list today, so that way if you're worried about your money, you can go sell them. You know what will be interesting? I wonder if after they put it on the watch list here, if there's going to be less people playing it tomorrow. They have a paw of Yezukan that we know about. That's fine. You want to Into the Unknown this? Probably not. And this is, again, you usually want to play Darkheart in matchups like this with Runebind up, so that way you can protect it from Hero Fall. Oh, they have a paw that I know about, right? I don't really care about that, right? So I get to Runebind this now. And then next turn I play this other Darkheart and they have to sacrifice both of these on their turn. So this line seems really bad for them. I guess I can't know that we have, like, Runebind to the second Dark Heart here, but, like, because we do, they're going to be super punished. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for with this Arcane Focus just yet, so I'm just going to play this Slow Shard, put a non-resource on top of my deck. Matt, I'm not saying people might not play it because it's too good. I'm saying people might sell their copies expecting a ban to be coming. Like, people might try and, like, sell out of them, expecting them to be worth less money at some point soon. Important to remember, you can't Runebind to protect from POV as you can, and when you have 2 Dark Hearts out anyways, you can't Runebind to protect anyways. Thunderfield Seer is such an ace draw, so we get to play this, and then we get to play Silver Talon Adjudicator and draw 2 cards. This card is so good with Silver Talon Adjudicator, it's kind of unreal. It's kind of unreal how good they are together. Again, not using our champ power just yet, and we kind of want to conserve this Runebind too, so we don't get axed by a Culmination in Blood. I could Runebind the Paw. Huh. That's an interesting note. Yeah, I think I want to save the Runebind for a Culmination of Blood, because I feel like I'm looking at this game, and you always want to ask yourself, how do I lose this game? Like, I'm really far ahead here, right? And the answer to how do I lose this game where I'm really far ahead is, well, Eternal Seeker might do it. Huh. Huh. Well, that sucks. Oh, I can Runebind the Seeker. This is why I'm playing games today. Okay? This is why I'm playing games. I haven't played Runebind to Dark Heart in a while. I think Runebinding the Seeker is fine. Alright, let's look for a Psychic Ascension here. The Runebind is awesome. Now the question becomes, do I want to activate my champion power card? I think because I have a Runebind in my hand, I'm safe to do this. If I didn't have the Runebind, I'd sit on this, I think. I think I just want to find the Psychic Ascension as fast as possible. Yeah, we've reached the stage. Runebind is a hard counter. Yeah, exactly. 2, 3, 4, 5. So currently costs 5. Let's get that out of here. Seeds. Yep. All right. I think this matchup gets better for us post board than it gets for them. Alright, that being said, what am I cutting? Silver Talon's not great. Glory's medium. I'm gonna trim a Dark Heart. No, you don't cut a PA. This is the best card in this matchup, man. This is like literally the only thing you want to be doing. Almost everything is how do I get to this faster. It is the single best card in the matchup. This is how you go over the top of them. Am I supposed to change it? What's his name play any Strangles? I'm gonna cheat and look and see if he's got any Strangles in his deck. Ash. King did play copies of Strangle. All right, I'm not gonna cut. No, Runebind seems great, right? I guess I'm bringing in other hard counters. That's the other nice thing about having Thunderfield Seer. It's just like a go-to trim this. I don't think I hate this. All the one-ofs. I wonder if this is a matchup where I want the third into the unknown, just because, like, getting rid of their Runeers is pretty good. I'm pretty convinced that Runic Diminishing is unplayable. I'm pretty convinced that Runic Diminishing is unplayable. This hand is awkward, but I'm going to keep it. Hopefully we don't get... If we get double Withering Gaze, we're probably going to lose this game. I know, I was just saying for the benefit of the class. That might have been confused and looking at that card and thinking, hey, maybe I could play this. Pretty confident it's strictly unplayable. Transmog's a great draw, gives us a clean answer to a Runeer. Means I can play this for a resource and not feel bad about it. We're actually in a really good spot now, right? Because we get to, like, clean answer a Runeer on their 3 R2, and then, like, our turn, play Sapphire, have Weave into nothing up. No. No, it's really not good in the... There's video proof of it being miserable in that mirror on my channel. This card is so bad. I don't understand why this card is playable. I don't think I'm willing to Transmogrifade that. I think that one just stays poopy. I think that one just stays a pooper. Get to weave something into nothing here, get another resource. We basically just want to hit our first 7 resource drops with this matchup. We want to hit our first 7 in most, but like these mid-range control matchups more than anything. If we transmog it, they might get a good card, right? I did win the draft I had this card in, so that's fair. I'm gonna weave this into nothing, which might seem a little aggressive, but like my opponent has a Rotpaw gang in their discard pile that they flipped over there, so I think it's worth cutting them off of potential resources and denying them the body for that. I think that is worthwhile. They left Strangles in their deck. Alright, well, I'm glad I left the defense gem in on the Dark Heart. Their next gem power is going to be real bad. They've got a bunch of bad hits in there. Succubus is just awkward. It needs 2 Deathcry triggers for it to get value. And, like, the deck that you want to get value against in this format is the one that I'm playing. And we've got Transmogrifades and Runebinds and Clash of Steels. What other matchups is it good in? Like, I don't want this effect against an aggressive deck. I don't want a 3/2 flyer for 3 against an aggressive deck that has to, like, die twice to be reasonable. Like, that's super clunky and awkward. Like, why not just play a 6/6? Why not just play another good troop? We're using our life total a little liberally here. It's possible I'm supposed to take an action on one of these draws instead of just, like, building up to this. I guess if we get Culmination, we're going to be really sad. Ground Creeper, sure. Sure. Look at that. Look at that sweet, sweet value. Sure. I'm gonna cast Clash of Steel next turn. It's gonna be more than good. It's great. If they keep the Ground Screeper, I'm gonna Pridefall them. If they keep this, I'm going to Transmog them. They kept that one. Alright. Have a 1-2. Go. Two, three, four. No, I just want to be in a position where I'm not dying holidays. Next turn, they could sacrifice this to the Rotpaw Gang and make a 6-6. And I'd kind of prefer they didn't have a 6-6 on the current board. Plus, you know, just like, get by with a little help from my friends here. Need to dodge Culmination for a turn or two, but we're in a good spot otherwise. Peter's a good pickup. I'll buffer our life total here a little bit. Ah, the lottery. The tax on people who are bad at math. If there's ever any doubt in your mind that math is difficult for a lot of people, sit in on an elementary statistics class in a college setting sometime. It's... Yep. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Am I casting Rotpaw Gang here? Sack this and go get Rotpaw. Yep. The rest of their hand is. Hopefully it's a bunch of removal and the Psychic Ascension is just gonna end the game. I'm gonna Transmog this. Am I Transmogging it? Or am I Pridefalling it? I might just Pridefall to generate some tempo here. I think I want to do that, actually. Huh. Here's an interesting question. Do I burn this Transmog on the Pack Mule so I can Psychic Ascend? If I play the Transmog, I guarantee to send. Is that worth it? I think it's Transmog and Ascend, right? Because then, like, even if I get Culmination, I still have a chance to win the game. And usually a Psychic Ascension could play through a Rotpaw Gang. And even get rid of the troop. That's great. Into the Unknown's a good pickup. I'm gonna put a resource on top of my deck here, and then let's just hit it. Check, check, check it. See, I don't even think this is greedy. I think waiting is actually the greedy line. Deal. We just like resource replay our thing. God, that's so good for us. It's like gonna flail around here. We're gonna into the unknown, the Rotpaw Gang, and get rid of all of them. Rotpaw Gang is annoying. Draw cards and gain life. What's not to love about this card, really? It's so good. So good. So good. Beep, 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 I'm gonna get a resource with this. I'm gonna hold the halt up here in case they try and hero fall by Adjudicator. Are you ready for the clambacks? They could get Culmination of Blood back to their heads here. Just to the Turtle Seeker. God bless. So Polymorphic Army transforms every troop we control into a random troop with cost X, but it can only make standard legal cards in standard. So the only standard legal 10 drop is Walking Calamity, which is a very large, very angry Mamma Jamma. So we're going to get to 11 resources, then Polymorphic Army with X equals 10, and then run our opponent out of the game with Clambakes. Oh no. Oh no. What are we bringing back? Ground Creeper? That's fine, right? You have a Runebind or something here they're going to play out. They have a Runebind, we're going to want Into the Unknown that as opposed to the Rotpaw getting this turn. Succubus, sure. Do I want to Into the... Do I care about that? I don't know that I care about that. I think I'm just picking this up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Culmination is the only card that we could possibly care about. You want some peanut butter? Mm-hmm. Alright, Dad's gonna go get... Wait, why did we sacrifice that? Are we making a Culmination free here? That would be scary. Oh, it keeps life drain if it stays a troop. That was weird ordering. We might get Culmination here. Oh, they're just making a 6/6 in response in a weird order. Oh, they're just putting this trigger onto here. That makes sense. Sure. So they're gonna get a 6/6 flyer. All right, I guess that could be kind of scary, right? They get to trigger this onto here. They get a 6/6 flyer. Sure. Runebind, sure. Guess what? How about... This. Put a resource on top, hopefully a non-slow shard. Hit this. Check, check, check it, see? Let's shift this back to their hand. Valor this guy. Again, just like trying not to die to Culmination in Blood. Run upstairs and grab a snack for Declan after this game. Yeah, I agree. I don't think the 6/6 is better. In fact, I'm just gonna do this so that way it made a random action. That's great. I'm just gonna do this so we get another body in play here. Move a grounds creeper, deal. And again, I'm just going to let this all happen because, again, the only thing we really care about is a Psychic Ascension, or Culmination of Blood. If we draw a Slow Shard here, we can't Polymorphic Army. We did not draw a Slow Shard because we are professional. So, let's get ready to climb back! Hey, hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, hey, oh, hey, oh. Boo doo 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 doo. Boo doo 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 doo. For everyone that's never seen a clam bake before, Yeah, but I want them to know how dead they are. I don't want them... See, doing this is supposed to make them not stop and think. They're just supposed to know they're dead. Whereas if I attack before Lullaby, right? It's like pitch myself off the nearest building. All right, I'm gonna run upstairs and get Declan a snack really quick. We'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna play another match or two with Sapphire Dynamic Controller Sporting. Yeah, right, like, that was a pretty ideal succubus setup too, right? Like, it just, like, didn't matter at all. So again, this is one of those, not 100% sure what we're going to be looking for with Arcane Focus, so let's not focus on one here. I'm just going to guarantee our 4th resource drop with this. We've already got a couple pieces of interaction here, so this hand's pretty reasonable. I think I want to just leave up the transmogs here. Again, not 100% sure what I'm looking for just yet. Well, actually, I do know. We're going to be looking for a powerful 4-drop. But if my opponent plays, like, Underworld Crusader here, or Matriarch of the Flames, or a 3-drop with speed, I'm going to go transmog this dork, transmog the other dork. Yep, sure. Probably going to hit their champ power here in response. So in response here, we're going to transmog this one. You want to transmog the lackey first, because they could sacrifice the Crusader in response to it being transmogged. Get that. Nice champion power. Alright, so what am I looking for here now? Probably want to start with the focus, see what we get. You want to use your focuses first because they're a little bit worse. God, Thunderfield Seer, just every time I play the card, it's just like, yes, yes, please, yes, more Thunderfield Seer. This pocket army could actually get a little bit out of control here, right? Do I want the Silver Talon? My life total's not under pressure, so I'm gonna take the Runebind for now. So pocket army is a little annoying. It activates itself and it creates a new pocket army into their hand, so it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So we're gonna need to find a dark card here to put this game away at some point. Matriarch of the Flame, sure. So I'm going to trade with their 2-1 here. We're hoping for a Dark Heart next turn. Psychic Ascension, not quite what we're looking for. Non-resource. Into the Unknown. That's probably fine, right? I'm probably going to do this to their Matriarch of the Flames next turn. I put Seers in because I like the card Thunderfield Seer. Burgle and other folks were the ones that had initially built this configuration, and like when they added Runebind, to the deck, they just like cut Thunderfield Seer, like assuming that like that had to be the cut, and they never tested. At least Burgle at least never tested with both. He never tested with Runebind and Seer, and like Runebind and Seer I think are both good. It's a little awkward that we don't have. Okay, well now I was to say that we don't have Double Diamond. Now we have Double Diamond. And put a random non-resource sub back. I'm actually going to Runebind this just to draw that non-resource here in case it's something that we can play. It means I get to not take damage from this for a turn. Perfect. It was literally the perfect. Even if they hit a resource next turn, like, this isn't going to be able to attack us. And, like, if they don't hit a resource next turn, we're going to be in a really good spot. You know, assuming that this doesn't brick off. Well, they always hit the resource right away. That's fine. I think we were okay with that outcome. We are going to be under a little bit of pressure to draw something here. If we hit like a Glory, that would be pretty insane. Darkheart would also be okay. Clash of Steel's fine at this point, so that's still in our deck. Down to 10. We're gonna need some hits here. If we hit Shard into Shard, we're gonna die. That's actually a little unfortunate, because it means we're not going to get another Prophesize card here. Alright, Silver Talon Adjudicator's Deece. I guess it's kind of not, actually, right? We don't get to draw cards with it. I mean, we're going to cast it, but, like, our opponent's going to play Lasgar's Vengeance and then kill us next turn. And we had a really good start this game, too. It just kind of petered out. Drawing Psychic Ascension sucks. Every time I'm playing Redlings on the ladder, and, like, my opponent has Psychic Ascension in their deck against me post-board, I'm like, man, you really haven't played this matchup enough. Sure. Alright, well, we're not dead yet. We're getting there, though. That's pretty good. Especially with Swift Strike in it. Fuck. Infinite. It's 5 Lasgars at head. Weird that they didn't champ power for 3 Dreadlings there. Probably gonna be too little too late. Yeah, we're just gonna be dead on board, right? I gotta sack this and then take lethal. There you go. Alright, so what did we do last time? We cut the Clashes, we cut into the Unknown, we cut the Psychic Ascensions. I brought in these, and this. It's good. That game plan. I believe in you, Ice. Ice, Ice, baby. We'd already played our shard that drew a card. Well, that's... My ice has failed me. This hand was the most medium of keeps. Thankfully, my deck is trying to bail me out here. Huh. I'm gonna do this. This kind of sucks when they play their speed 3-drop next turn, but I think we're supposed to do this to try and guarantee our 4th shard. I've got Silver Talon Adjudicator and like these to like clean up afterwards. Oh, instead of the Dark Heart, sure. I think, no, we're still effectively dead though, right? Yeah, we'd have to hit like Transmog plus. I guess we could have hit Transmog plus. That's a fair assessment. But we would have had to hit Transmog plus Clash, which is like pretty narrow. I'll hold up a 2 plus a 1 this turn. Transmog this dork. Confounding Ire the crap out of that one. Yeah. Like I said, we would have had to hit Clash plus... We technically had outs. We could have hit Clash plus Runebind or Clash plus Transmog. So playing the Dark Heart left us just dead, and we could have hit our champ power. We could have... We did not play to the low probability out. Seers too? Yeah, sure. So we could have hit Clash plus a 1 mana Sapphire thing. That is completely correct. Play this. Huh. If I Runebind this draws 2, right? So put me to 4 and then put me to 3. Right, so let's do that. I couldn't just play this because this is prophesied, so if I would have played that, it would have drawn a card when I played it. So that's why we had to Runebind as opposed to playing this, for people that are wondering why we didn't play the Thunderfield Seer there. Hey, they missed for a turn. Not that we really needed them to miss this time around, but they did miss, and I feel good about them missing. Ooh, hand is weak. I wonder if they overboarded again. Our last Red League's opponent overboarded by a lot. Do I want to play Glory here? I probably don't. I'll play this. Do a resource. Perfect. Do this. This card is so good. Yeah, I'm especially with like these blockers. Yeah, I know. Easy block. 1. Sure. I play this, I can transmog this, and then draw cards with my Silver Talon Adjudicator. Ding. I could technically Pridefall this for the turn because it had the bonus from this, but I'd rather just like trade the Adjudicator with it because then I can glory them the next turn. Storo, I'll have the deck list posted below the YouTube video below. I don't think the other thing updated for whatever reason. Why didn't we just Pridefall it? I don't know. Because it didn't. Probably should have. Certainly should have. Yeah, certainly should have just Pridefalled it. Thank you for the point out, Bob. I'm gonna crack them for 6 and then I'm gonna avoid the board. You know what I love? I love when my Wrath of God comes on a 5/5 with Steadfast. That's my favorite. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Balmy breezes blowing through ya. My deck is too good for me to take optimal lines, right? That's all I want. That's all I want out of life, is a deck that's gonna pick me up and carry me across the finish line. Is that asking so much? Casualty of War me? Sure. Casualty of War is not great against Eldurathan's Glory because it's still Wrath's your board. That was only a draw 2, right? Yeah, that was only a draw 2, not quite a recall. I guess I could have runebound my own glory there. I'm gonna sit on this for the time being, so that way I can just like beat them down with this, make them have an answer. Primordial Sabertooth! Oh baby! Why is this in their deck post board? That's interesting. Alright, well I'm just gonna let that die and we'll play the dark card and it'll kill this. This game is thoroughly over. This is the fun part of Sapphire Diamond Control, right? Like, the game has ended, but like my opponent's still playing for some reason, so we just like sit over here and do all the stuff we want to do. I didn't Runebind the Glory because my 5/5 doesn't do anything versus their 5/4. Like, I'd just trade later. I'd much rather save the Runebind to counter a Culmination of Blood. Again, you always want to ask yourself the question, what do I lose to here? And the answer is, like, them ripping removal into Culmination from my Dark Heart. So, like, this card deals with their 5/4, and it still leaves us our card. And next I'm going to save these guidance. I should save one guidance, so that way you can un-Runebind on demand, basically. Matriarch of the Flames, sure. What if I Transmogrifaded you, so you don't make a burn to the ground? I feel like that would be ideal. Opponent has realized that the game has ended. God bless. This is the game we have to win on the draw. Well, Rolf, like, part of that thing, though, too, is, like, you're playing a rogue deck, right? Like, you're not playing a deck that's very popular or a known entity, so, like, boarding poorly against a deck that they're not familiar with isn't uncommon. That being said, like, I agree, you shouldn't bring in Casualty against a Princess deck. You should probably just, like, bring in the Sabertooths, and that's enough. I do think inexperienced aggro players tend to overboard, but I also think boarding poorly against decks you're not familiar with is, like, kind of forgivable. I will be commentating during my Bash stream tomorrow, so I'm planning to kick off my stream at 9 AM with some Magic the Gathering, and then I'm going to be streaming the Bash with some Magic Online in between rounds. But I mean, like, that's a sign of a good deck. Like, I made mistakes with I've made plenty of mistakes with this deck, but like, we're still winning matches and games, right? Because like the power level of the cards in this deck is high. Sure. Second Transmog is a good pickup. We got a guaranteed third resource on top of our deck. These focuses could be more resources. This guidance is a guaranteed fourth resource. Again, we're just going to pass with double Transmog up here. If I turned you into something worse, it still gives them two things here. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. Deck for 3, that's fine. And again, I think you always want to focus before you guidance, because you're not quite sure what you're looking for. And see, like this focus doesn't have the option to be a non-resource, so that's why, again, you really want to focus first. I have resource. Am I gonna have a window to Lanupaw site? Yeah, probably. And this is one of the things, like, one of the things you really need to be careful of when you're playing post-board against Redlings as a Sapphire Diamond control player, is that the Redlings deck is fairly grindy when it needs to be. So, like, you want to make sure you don't let them just card advantage you out of the game. We can't be 1-for-1ing them a bunch, and, like, Transmogrifade, like, wasn't even technically a 1-for-1. Like, we downgraded this, but, like, this is still a pooper that I have to deal with at some point this game. That's annoying. If they have Casualty of War for this Dark Heart, we might be in a little bit of trouble. I don't think I can wait to play this Dark Heart out, though, so... this at least kills a 1-1. Like, around to make them have it plan. If they have Rust Bucket Distractor here, we're taking 7 this turn at a minimum, too, so... We're hoping they don't have a few things here. Because we don't have a 5th resource in hand right now, we can't have, Alright, sweet. It's not a Casualty of War, so, like, it's not great for us, but, like, it's not Casualty of War. Next turn, we can attack with this, and then Runebind it plus Guidance. So it can block at least. It took a resource off the top of our deck. That's annoying. Transmogs go wrong. That's really... It's going to be a good one if we can live to get there. Might not be able to live to get there, though. I would agree with you, Burgle, if it had been a non-slow shard, but because it was an ice, I think it was right to do what I did. We could die here. We have a lot of cards that could kill us here. We weren't spending Runebind for 4 points of damage, Ben. I was spending, okay, so we're dead. I was spending Runebind to make this be able to block. This was, Runebind reverts it. And we are dead anyways. Good game, it's well played, opponent. And like I said, I think this matchup is favored for the Diamond Sapphire control deck, but it doesn't mean it's unlosable by any stretch of the imagination. You need to hit your relevant cards on curve, for sure. Awesome, Ring. Congrats. That person's deck seemed good, right? Thank you everyone for watching this morning. There's a lot of different things you could be doing, different people you could be watching. Thanks for choosing to spend part of your time here with us. My name is Jeff Hoagland. Remember, if you're enjoying what you see, please hit that follow button. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps other people find my stuff. If you want to help me produce more of this content, there's a couple different ways you can do that. The best way is by subscribing on Twitch or becoming a patron on Patreon. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors. HexPrimal.com would love to buy and sell Hex CCG card with you. If you use code Jeff5 at checkout there, you will save 5% on all of your singles orders with them. And you can also check out inkedgaming.com to help you customize your gaming experience. They do custom playmats and mouse pads. You can use your own artwork on those, or you can do custom artwork that you have the rights to reproduce something with if you have your own art or like a family photo or something. Not really, Maddie. We're going to kick off with Tron. I think I want to play something that's fairly quick and that like I'm familiar with, so I can play it in between rounds of the bash. We're gonna be double queuing for the first couple. Any plans against Sapphire? Went to me one of my losses in the bash. I actually have no idea what I can do. The matchup feels so lopsided. I actually think that matchup is pretty reasonable for us. I don't think the Sapphire Wintermoon deck is that good in general. It might have a slight leg up against us in that matchup. Like, the important thing is just keeping your cards to... Don't try and fight over their card advantage. Try and fight over their cards that actually win the game. Essentially, if you keep what's his name, Windsinger off the table, they usually can't win. And, like, they don't have a way to win through Psychic Ascension, generally. And they usually don't play Psychic Ascension for whatever reason. And for whatever reason, I mean, it's because Metronomy told them they shouldn't. Go ahead and focus here. See what we find. Yassi's playing their strange, not quite control, not quite Empress deck. I think I want to just make sure I keep hitting all my resource drops. Definitely the Redling's aggressive deck is the easiest to learn to pick up and run with. Oh yeah, I guess Mono Ruby, the floor on Mono Ruby is probably easier. I mean, that's not really true, Elwin's. Like, he played stock Empress in the CCS that he top 8'd. We'll play Darkheart out here. Since we have Runebinds to protect it if they have an interrupt here. Sure. I guess I could have waited a turn since I had a second Runebind to fight over that. Very possible. Not really, Bob. It's like a bunch of 4-ofs of like reasonable cards that like attack. Like if you're not familiar with Hex, I think if you're familiar with Hex, it's like really not that strange. I think Immortal isn't being played because there's no reason to play it. People want to play in tournaments or prizes or something. Like we don't have regular Immortal tournaments. This card probably doesn't have a text box other than a 5/5 Steadfast in this matchup, so I'm just gonna play it out as such. Sure, yeah, you have woven my Eldurathan's glory into nothing. We need actual tournaments for Immortal to be relevant. Woolly Moa. Yes, yes, you have a Woolly Moa. I mean, there's basically no reward for playing Immortal, right? Like, if you can't play on, like, one specific day, there's literally no reward. So I'm just gonna Runebind itself here. Actually, I should Runebind this, right? Because I'm gonna play this Darkheart, and they won't get a Fate Weave off of this. They're evaporating their Woolly Moa, sure. I really like the idea of Immortal, and I really hope that... Right now, Immortal is pretty close to Standard, but once... yeah, was never alive to begin with. I fully agree. I hope once... what's the word I'm searching for here? Once we have... once set 8 hits, that they support it a little bit more. I don't think that's the issue at all, Rang. I think the issue is that people don't have a reason to play it. I think it's different enough now that like people have a reason to play it, but like you're not encouraged to play it at all. I really don't care if they have a Darkheart. I have 2 4/6s. Enjoy. Dream Call. How about if I Runebind your thing? I don't know why people are playing this card. don't understand. I'm gonna get a resource with this, so that way I can play it and then draw 2 cards by Silver Talon Adjudicator. Yeah, correct. Like, even a ladder is a reason to play it. It's really bad. It's awful. Just, okay, look. Did you put a bunch of bad cards in your deck? Unless you put a bunch of bad cards in your deck, you should be happy drawing more cards from your deck. So, instead of, like, getting a bunch of random bullshit, just play Lanupaw Sight or Heart's Whisper and draw the guaranteed good cards that you have registered in the deck. It's like, well, I didn't put a bunch of terrible cards in my deck, so, like, I would just like to just draw the guaranteed good cards as opposed to, like, drawing a bunch of terrible cards. It's a good draw. Draw my Psychic. Speaking of guaranteed good cards, draw my Psychic Ascension. Okay, and they hit their Psychic Ascension, so we have a game. It's gonna be a real awkward game, but it's a game. Especially with mono Dark Arts in play. Oh, and by that I mean I just drew a Transmogrifade, so let's go! Refute's a good pickup. Deck. You can have a Dark Art. You have 1 Dark Art to buy 3. The deck that I'm playing right now is the most controlling deck in the current format. It's very competitive. It's arguably one of the top 3 decks in the format. Resource is great here because it means the Silver Talon Adjudicator gets to draw some cards. They tried to respond to this. I'm going to go ahead and refute this, especially because I would like to keep more Dark Arts in play than them. Hey, look. Scouring Light, sure. Oh, they're just emptying their hand. Got it. That makes sense. Summon. Transform this into a copy of another target troop. Alright, so now I have 4 Dark Arts. Oh, geez, I copied their ugly full art one. What a mistake. What a big pop-a punt there. Just big punt. So now everyone has to sacrifice 5 non-socketed things every turn. Assuming they don't get, like, massively good RNG from their champion power. Like, opponents, like, basically just playing a bad version of what we're playing. Like, we have 4 more resources than them, and we're still up cards on them in this game, which is just, like, kind of unreal, right? I do not like extended art. I do not like it, Sam I am. Ooh, nope, Runebind, yep. You want to Runebind this Dorko. That way I can start crunch again. Just want to clear their board up. Ooh, Thunderfield Seer. The prophecies. It's annoying. Eventually they're gonna run out of stuff, though. And then, like, we're both gonna run out of stuff, but, like, I have 4 Dark Hearts in play, so, like, my stuff is gonna, like, beat their stuff. You know, assuming that they don't generate something massively obnoxious here. Like, someone was commenting on the Winter Moon matchup earlier and talking about how they have more interrupts than we do. Like, my opponent certainly has more interrupts than I do in this match, right? Like, they've played 2 Weaves currently. Dingle, don't dingle my dongle. That's so rude. Why would you dingle my dongle? Dong dong! That dread deployment going on. Oh, that's so sad. I'm 1 resource short of drawing 2 cards with that. Alright. Let's crunch. Might have a quick action here. Like, maybe I should wait, because if they have a quick action, it generates a troop, they could, like, kill one of my dark hearts, potentially. Oh, put you to 8. Go ahead. Yeah, they have asynchronous draft and then traditional sealed, as well as what they call evolving sealed, where like you start with 2 packs and then you get more cards as the thing goes on. And there's a 1K for sealed every weekend too, if you're into that sort of thing. I don't, just like in Magic, I don't really play limited in Magic or Hex, so not my cup of tea. What you got? Are my darkest of hearts going to beat you down? What you got? What you got? What you got, Yessie? In before heartbreak, right? This is the heartbreak song and I'm gonna play it. It's been so long, I forgot. Polymorphic army. Alright. Sure. You have 2 6-drops. Deal. Still dead. Still dead. Still dead. Okay, good. Good. Glad we had this talk. No, I don't think so. I say that as I'm putting Flight and Swift Strike on these. I think, and I want to put Berry on 3 of these. And then the last one, I want to put Fate Weave on, because I'm going to board in this Mad Robomancer, and Mad Robomancer is going to generate an action. And Berry. I want these. I want these. I want this. I want these. Clash of Steel's pretty poopy. Eldurathan's Glory's pretty poopy. What are the cuts here? Into the Unknown seems probably pretty bad. Yeah, Strangle. I think we'll see an uptick in Strangle decks if Lasgar's Vengeance goes away. So I think you still want to start with the +2 defense gem. I think you'll change from +2 defense gem more often, like I'm doing here. But I got 2 transmogs too. I think seems fine. For those who are wondering what I was doing with those cards, again, the dark hearts are customizable. I think I'd rather have the resource efficiency. Also, like transmogs much better against copycat, right? Like, I could just, like, turn their cats back into cats. YOLO. I would like to go on record saying that this keep is bad, and I should get punished for keeping it. But there's no justice in the world, so we just drew that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Sapphire Blood control decks, right? Like, the fact that, like, the control deck has to have Silver Talon Adjudicator right now to be a real deck. If anyone would like me to point them in the directions of the crossroads where I sold my soul to be able to draw like this, I can give you directions after this match is done. Ah, get in there, Thunderfield Seer. Get him. Get him. I did prophesize the same card because I Fate Weaved for a resource. I Fate Weaved for a resource, so I did prophesize the same card twice. Although, against Counter Magic, I'd kind of prefer that they went on separate cards. That's why Fate Weave is basically Brainstorm. Do I want Tribunal Magistrate or do I want Lanupaw's Sight? I feel like whichever one I'm playing is getting countered. I feel like I'm gonna lead on this. Because they could have Into the Unknown here. I felt like whatever we're running, maybe because of Into the Unknown I'm supposed to lead on this. Oh no, not Dream Call. How could I ever win the game anymore? Now they get to get 3 random crappy cards instead of, like, again, 3 guaranteed good cards out of their deck. And they could have left a resource up if they'd have played Lanupaw's Sight. Verdict of the Ancient Kings. Play this pooper out. Attack them for 2. Now I really wish I would have sequenced the other way, because I would have rather resolved a Sight here than resolved this. Look at these cards he's generated. A resource that's a threshold that's not the other cards in his deck. Just so powerful. Such a powerful hex card my opponent has cast. Alright, get some egg on your face. Can I interest you in some egg on your face, opponent? Oh, I can interest you in egg on your face. Deal. I would like to wait to play this until I have 7, so that way I can protect it with this Verdict of the Ancient Kings. This is how we're going to deal with it. We're going to sacrifice it to their Dark Heart. Come on, can you Valor this and put a bunch of eggs in your deck? That would be more than good. It'd be great. Yep. You'll... We're kind of in an awkward spot here, because if they Runebind this, I just lose it. So I'm gonna go ahead and Oracle Song to start here. They not have Runebind? They might not have Runebind, I guess. I guess this not having Flight... They have a counter for this, I'm gonna feel bad. Oh, you know what? I should board out Thunderfield Seer in this matchup. It's been a while. Oh, that's fine. I still get to draw cards. It's been a while since I've played a matchup like this, but in counter-heavy matchups, Thunderfield Seer is bad because the card has to not get interrupted in order to resolve. So, usually we trim it. Took my weave. Okay. Delio. Sure. Might as well block here. I'm about to sacrifice them both anyways. Do this for a non-resource to start. See what we get. Yes. Love a Runebind. This. Play Darkheart. Mill some Spooters over. And these are free blocks, because I'll have to sacrifice them anyways. It's like, play this, gain 9, sure. Gonna copycat something here. Sure. Sure. Maybe? I don't know. Huh. I think I actually want to Runebind their Dark Heart here, right? So they have to sacrifice it on the next cycle. I just want them to not draw cards here. I don't care if they gain some life. This one dies to Transmog, though. I guess they all basically die to Transmog. Okay, I'm gonna Runebind this in response here to their flyer. And now we're gonna get to draw cards with ours, because we're gonna get to play a resource and then play this. And I get to guarantee a non-shard on top here. Where am I Ascension at? I'm in the market for a Transmog. Ding. Nope. Oh, I should have attacked there. That was a mistake. I should have attacked because they likely would have blocked, and then I could have transmogged this guaranteed. Yeah, I should have attacked there. I have 2 transmogs, like I'm probably fine, but like should have attacked there. Sure. It's nice that our opponent shut up without a champion power. You're not wrong. We're just like randomly we're up 2 cards on them because of their crappy champion power. It's fine. Sec this. Sec this. Silver Talon Adjudicator. Sign me up. Alright, let's try and transmog our way through this board. I can transmog 2 of these, right? And then I'll have to sacrifice them because I have a Dark Heart and they have a Dark Heart. That's unfortunate. Draw a couple more cards here. I already played a resource. Touch unfortunate. Guess I'll transmog another one of these. Just like try to get them off the board. Caravan. Attack with this because I can block here. Winning this race currently. I'll sacrifice this. We're kind of at even parity here. The first one to a Psychic Ascension is probably gonna win. That's just another. And again, just like okay, so the person that was arguing with me about Dream Call earlier today, my opponent's Dream Call made an off-color resource, a Dread deployment, and a Spear Cliff Captain. Like, that doesn't seem great at all. It seems pretty miserable, in fact. Seems pretty miserable. We're gonna put a non-resource on top here. And we'll go ahead and play this Thunderfield Seer, so that way if we put a non-action on there, or an action on there, we can draw it right away. A chump blocker for here. Off-color slow resource. Yeah, like, it was really bad. Alright, they hit their Psychic Ascension first. That being said, like, the Psychic Ascension doesn't actually do that much with all these Dark Hearts out. Runebind's 1 card too late. Do that, draw a card. Okay, let's go. We won the Psychic Ascension off last time. We also had more Dark Hearts, though. Ooh. Just gonna do that. Lets me draw 2, lets them draw 3. Am I doing that? Yeah, I think I am. Dang it, Bobby. The spiders are coming home to roost. The spiders have come home. Excellent. Excellent, these spooters are here. Can I interest you on some spooters, opponent? Perhaps my spooters could come home. Yes, excellent spooters. Can I interest you in my spooters, opponent? I'll hold on to that playtime, because the burying half their deck is actually be super relevant, so it's probably going to take control of one of their things at some point here. Milled over your Mad Robomancer opponent. Excellent. Let's talk about my 3-turn clock that's currently unblockable. I guess we have to sacrifice some of them to the Dark Heart, but like, the Dark Heart flies, so like, you know. Playtime is so bad until it's suddenly really good, right? It's a great way to describe it. Oh no! Oh no! We're gonna lose to Dream Call! They got to draw 5, it's so good, how could we ever win? I'm too old to play a game like Overwatch, so you're safe from that. I'm not gonna disappear. I might concede now, right? One thing that I really do appreciate, Yassi, if you watch this video later, is Yassi's playing very quickly. Like, he's actually up 20 seconds on me right now, which is pretty rare. Like, I am very quick when I'm playing TCGs. Cavern Creeper. What a powerful hex card Dream Call is. We're gonna copy my Dark Heart? Gonna turn it, unstud it? Sure. Oh, now I have to lose 2 Spooters. That one's actually really good. Kinda? It's got a bad gem in it. I think it's time for playtime, I agree. Gain control of target opposing. I could take the Zoras Rectory. I want to take the Zoras Rectory? I think I do, actually. I don't need blood to make dreadlings. Yeah, it's probably dumb. I'm probably just supposed to take that. That being said, like, the Zoras Rectory is kind of scary on the other side of the table, right? Because they have blood. Bloodbear is actually pretty good for them, because that's going to allow them to gain a bunch of life here. Why does Bloodbearer mean I lose? I think this game's pretty far from over, and I think the fact that put target card into its controller's hand, Runic, sure. I think the fact that I have Mad Robomancer left in my deck still probably gives me a leg up. Also, like, my opponent has a pretty significant number of spiders in their deck still. This prevents damage, right? I'm gonna block here and then Star Shield my guy. I guess this is bad if they have a counter. Lapidary's pretty good. That's just a card they're playing in their deck. The Valor Generation's actually really good, right? Because, like, now my guy's gonna be a 5/5. Weave into Nothing's a great draw. Lanupaw is a great draw. I probably want to Lanupaw this, actually, right? Just so, like, they don't accidentally take my thing. Pocket Army is actually kind of funny, too. For a bunch in the air here. I guess maybe I don't want to offer this trade. Yeah, the playtime was probably a super bad play. Actually sure if they get rid of a dark card or not, who that's better for. Let's counter that. Source on top of my deck. Feels bad getting rid of, like, my safety net there. Right, serious? They just think they're gonna push lethal on the backswing here? I know my last card is Zorath Director, so I can just auto pass here for value. I can chump. Oh, bouncing my flyer is pretty good here. I die by mistake if they have enough removal. I feel like I might be able to. This is 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Only 15 points of damage, yep. That's a really fortunate creation for them. Like I said, I think we're gonna have to get pretty unlucky on RNG on both generated troops and their actions from this point, but it's possible. They did not mill our Mad Robomancer yet, though. Yeah, where are the spiders, right? Like, there should be like 15 or so spiders in their deck, right? Like, we both drawn similar numbers of cards. And actually, I've milled them a bunch too, right? Like, I've milled them 8 cards. I'm willing to chump this here. I feel like I'm not. Yeah, I'm just going to go to 8 here. And I'm going to sack a spider and a Frigibuffalo so I can start using my pocket army. Bleed out. That's rough. Happen regardless. Second Psychic Ascension for no TED drop because TED drops don't exist. I think my opponent can reactivate this now. I have Silver Talon Adjudicators left in my deck. 2 of them. What did they play? They played a Tanker Truck? Sure. Alright. Things that... I guess this lets me reactivate my champion power usually, right? I think, if I recall correctly. Oh, it does not, because I'm still the same champion. Let's do this. And then play this. Stun target two targets. Oh, they're dead, right? That's lethal. Yay, RNGesus! RNGesus! You are so good to me! Stun your troops, attack you for lethal. Man, I'm glad I didn't miss that, because we really could have lost that game if I missed that. Woo! Woo! Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and end on a high note here today. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm going to be live for a minimum of 12 hours tomorrow, assuming we meet the donation goal, which is probably going to be about $300. We will extend 12 to 24 hours. I won't be sad if we don't make it. I won't be sad if we make it, because it's like a win-win situation for me, really. Either I don't have to stay awake for 24 hours, or I'm up a couple $100. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a good racket, really. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I will catch you tomorrow. See who else is streaming. Oh, Neo's here.